everybody. Welcome to another sidestepping adventure. This video, I'm doing the story of the two gentlemen that was on a train wreck. They were brakemen. So, we're going to go on a trip here, and I will take you on a journey that they were taking when they had the accident. And I'll tell you a little bit of the story. They were on a coal mine train. They come back from Crawford, back and forth from Crawford, down in there at the coal mines. They'd load the cars up with coal, and then they would haul that coal up to Monterey, Tennessee. And this is the way that they would go. Well, I think the railroad is a little bit probably to the left of us, but on that day, all the cars were loaded. It was overloaded. And if anybody knows anything about trains, this particular day, it was a double header, which means there was a train in the front, train in the back pushing. So it was very heavy loaded. And these two men were the brakemen on that train. And the brakemen one would work from the front to the back, the other one would work from the back to the front, and they would kind of meet in the middle. On this particular day, well, the train was over too heavy loaded, and back in this day, the tracks, the trestles were, this is on this mountain, so the hollers was deep, so to get across, it was more like a bridge. So this happened. The train finally stopped in Lovejoy, but it stopped, and then where it derailed is what happened. It was a derailment, and in the process of the derailment, these two gentlemen had met in the middle, but that car is the car that plummeted to the ground. And so I will take you as close to it as I possibly can. But we are on our way to the cemetery, and I'm trying to get to Lovejoy. So once we get to Lovejoy, I will end this segment, and I will. Here is Lovejoy, right there to our right. So it happened right up that road. So we will continue the story at the cemetery. So I will see you all there, okay? Hello, everybody. We are here at the cemetery, at Whitaker Cemetery, where these two gentlemen were killed in the train wreck. And I'm going to tell you the story. And as we go along, I will show you some tombstones along the way. So, let's go. These two men were brakemen, like I said before, on this train. Loaded down to the gills with coal, and there was passenger cars in between the coal cars. And these brakemen, if you don't know what they do, they try to go to each car and turn the brakes on and try to slow the train up. And this time, the train was too fast. So, I'm going to read very much information about this. But I will read you what I got here in a few. This happened also in 1919. And they were coming back. They were anxious to come back because they were both gonna take their family to the circus. Now, I will tell you the gentlemen's names now. Grover H. Gill. He was killed instantly. And Willie Wright, he was also killed. So, 105 years ago, this train wreck happened. And I'll read you what the story says. A GO train bound for Monterey derailed and killed 2 men. Wreck investigators partially blamed the derailment on a passenger train from the afternoon before. Putnam County historian Dale Welch said that train experienced a small derailment as it crossed the Lovejoy Bridge in Overton County, but the engineer and conductor never responded to it. The next morning, a special GO train left Wilder with 2 engineers and several cars. Let me go over here to the next tombstone. Welch said it was pouring rain when they stopped at Lovejoy station at about 2 a.m. They stayed at the station for just a little bit, and headed on down the way. Let me get to where I'm going so I don't fall. When they it must be a misprint here, but I think they probably was wanting to say when they reached the bridge, but they didn't put that. They hit the small derailment again, and 2 engineers and a few cars made it across the bridge before the rest collapsed down. Investigators also faltered the track foreman, saying he should have conductions on the curve leading to the bridge before any derailment occurred. The derailment killed 2 brakemen. Identified as 26-year-old Willie Wright, and 35-year-old Grover H. Gill. Family members buried both men at Monterey's Whitaker Cemetery. I put in a link. I will put in a link to the stories. But here's Grover and Cora. Now I'll come back to them in a minute, and we'll walk over to Willie's grave. Willie's grave is over by them evergreens over there. Somebody dinged me. You'll have to wait. So, I got a good piece. So don't go nowhere. That's a Swallows. I can't find their tombstone, but here's a Robinson. And I'll get up close so you can see the dates. And we're going to talk some more about Grover and Willie as we go along. So you done heard me tell how they got killed. And they were fixing to take their kids for the rides. I never did find nothing on Willie's, if he had kids or not. I couldn't find a thing out on that. But I did find stuff out on the Gill kids. But I will hold off on that for a minute. And a shout out to Lee. Lee is my co-worker. Brian is my co-worker. And Lee trying to turn the Lee actually owns the place where they just buried the wreck. So everything's in his yard. And let me find it. This is a piece of the glass from the train wreck. See how thick that is? But this came from his front yard. That's so you got to wonder, was this part of what they were looking out of when they met their end? So thank you, Lee and Brian, for that. But we were talking today, and I might help them try to locate the whales and whatever else there might be. So I might take you along. I might just film it. So you might want to hang on to that thought, put that in the back of your mind. That's a Pitts. I didn't cuss. That's a Lester. That's my great grandpa. So anyway, they buried the two gentlemen here, which you done seen Grover's grave. And we're fixing to get there. I'm just biding a little bit of time for a minute. I can't read those, or else I would show them to you. Babies. I can't show you this one. I'll cover it up. Then there's another. I promised Edward Jones if I ever seen a Jones, but I ain't gonna show him that. So here we have the family plot of the rights. Now, I'm just curious if these are rights. Yep. I never looked. I don't know. James. Let's see right here. I want to see if that's alright. Let's say it ain't right, but can't hardly read it. So I will take you to the grave of Willie. Now there is a story that Willie haunts, he haunts the train depot up here in town. It's a museum now. They call him Whistling Willie. So if you're in Monterey, there's a museum. Can't miss it. This is his family. So I wanted, might as well get them as well. Thank you, George, for your service, sir. So any of you ghost hunters and you guys that like to bump in the night, there's you something to check out. And I think there's something online about Whistling Willie. But I'm not gonna look that up for you. If you wanna dive into that, that's time I put you into that if you want to. That's not my thing. So I did find out about the Gill children. And I will walk back over there. And then I'll tell you the rest. But after Grover passed away in the train wreck, which, by the way, when they got there, see, this happened in the mountains, y'all. There was no roads back up in there in 1919. And from an article, help didn't come right away. It slowly came. And by that time, both men, Gil Grover, they found him a beam from the bridge landed on him. And Willie was buried alive under some coal when they found him. So they don't think they suffered too long. But after Grover passed away, as you can see, Cora didn't live too much longer. And so Grover's mom and dad, they took care of the kids. They raised the kids. And I think Grover's mom is right here. Now, I don't know where his daddy is at, because there's nothing right there. But Grover and Cora's daughter lived to be, I think, 92 or 93. And I didn't look into their son, but they're buried right up the road at the Welch Cemetery. Ain't that a humongous tombstone? And I want to show you something else. Grover must have been on the railroad for some time, because right here, don't know if you can make that out, but that's an R, that's a B, that's a R, and that's a T at the bottom. So R, T, B, R. So, if you know what that is, please let me know. I know it's got something to do with the train. So Grover, we bid farewell to you and to your wife. And hope you are resting in peace. Now, let's go over here to Willie. And pay our respects. Now Willie, I don't know if he was married, but I suppose that after he passed that she went on to remarry. So if you know anything about that, feel free to put it in the comments, because I'd like to know. My curiosity is getting the better of me. So, but here's Willie once more. Willie, we hope you are resting in peace, buddy. But if you're at the train depot whistling, you're probably not. So I hope you're resting in peace, buddy. Goodbye.